Jacksonville, Jersey.
Good morning, y'all. We'll get started in just a few moments. All right, I am off mute. I'm getting ready to start the camera. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
We apologize for the delayed start. We are here. And because of our delayed start, I'm going to go ahead and immediately turn it directly over to Sid and Saundra Curry from BC Holdings to give us their presentation of Destination Financial Wellness. This is District Union number 1 of Central Jersey. Pastor Eiley Bright, president, passing it over to BC Holdings to talk about Destination Financial Wellness.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
And
Happy Saturday, right?
happy Saturday morning.
Early Saturday.
It's nice to see each and every one of you there in the northeast corner of our country. Saundra and I, who are a couple, married. I married up. I want everybody to know that. We are coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. And it is nice to visit with you on this Saturday morning to knowledge up when it comes to money. And we want to apologize for the delay. We were in here. There's just a time zone difference that we had.
We're central.
That's completely on us. And so, but we're going to make up for that time. And this will be worth your time. I think it's important that we get right to it. And this has been an interesting week, a very interesting week. So, and I think it's relevant. And it's relevant because our company, who has been around in this space, financial education, we don't sell, we don't push products, we don't refer, we don't advertise, we only educate. That is all that we do. And it's important that you know we started this session, this training, this financial wellness and education in our community. And it was with our HBCUs and still is. It was with our National Football League and still is to a degree. It was with Inroads, which is a national nonprofit, many of you may know it, entity that is designed to bridge the gap between minority students and corporate America. We wrote the financial wellness program, so we know our community. We understand the gaps in our community when it comes to money. We understand why we are behind. And so this week has been interesting because we were approached by one of the largest airlines, and I won't name them, in our country. Many of you who fly this airline all the time. And it's interesting that they've had this opportunity out for 6 weeks. But because of the numbers within this large airline, they want to increase investment opportunities for their employees. There's a lack of it. And they cited some numbers. They said after analyzing their data in our community, people who participate in 401k plans, mostly African American, mostly Hispanic American, and Asian American, 30% to 40% of those people who borrow against their 401k plan are African American. It's us. And the majority of folk who get enrolled into the 401k plan that jump out of their investment, their retirement, their future, African Americans. And they recognize that we have a problem in terms of investing. They don't know why this problem exists, that we rank highest in terms of loans. They don't know why that we opt out when it is an investment opportunity, and they match and they give free money in order to get people in. They don't know the answers to those questions. So they said, we don't want to bring in a company, a white company, to address these issues in financial wellness in this 90,000+ company, employee company. We need a diverse company. We need someone who understands what's happening. So they approached BC Holdings and Destination Financial Wellness to come in and present a proposal in how we can solve this problem, because it is astounding. It is amazing that this company wants to address these issues in our community. That's one set of news. I want to point out something else that I think is relevant. There is the largest investment firm in the world and some other companies. They did a study to talk about racial financial inequity in our community. And so for these companies to do this, it is amazing to me. And it says that when it comes to wealth, Black and Hispanic households are behind at every single age group, whether that's under 35. And wealth means beyond income. How many investments do we have? Stocks and equities and things like that. Get these numbers. Median by age. Under 35 whites have $25,000 in investments beyond income. Black, $600. Okay, 35 to 54 white, $185,000 in total investments. That's whether it's 401k or stocks or whatever the case. And Black, $40,000. Okay, over 55 whites have accumulated $315,000 in total wealth. Black, $53,000. And then it goes on to say Black and Hispanic households are also less likely to have retirement savings. And the numbers mirror what I've just said. But I found this one really interesting. In Black families across the U.S., intergenerational wealth, money, transfers. That means that parents transferring wealth or money to children or vice versa. In Black families alone, intergenerational wealth transfers more often go from child to parent. Not parent to child, child to parent. College-educated households reported giving money to parents during the year. In the white community, 16%. In the Black community, 45% child to parent and not vice versa. That stands out to us. So, we have a lot of concerns when it comes to wealth in our community. I want to applaud the pastors of the district there, Dr. Cole and Pastor Bright and Pastor Lawson and so on, everybody else that we've met who have a strong interest in solving this problem of the wealth gap in our community. I want to applaud each and every one of you for taking time during your Saturday morning to talk about money and wealth and how to create intergenerational wealth in our community. We have the solution for you in a safe environment, in an environment where no one's trying to sell you anything, but give you the information so that you can become informed enough so that you can make decisions in your household, in the comfort of your home, without anyone knowing your numbers, to move your family forward, to create those hopes and those dreams that we've always wanted. And with that said, I'll turn this over to Saundra for a moment, and then we'll get the program pulled up and discuss what it is that is available to you to change your financial paradigm.
All right, thank you.
All right.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Dr. Cole. It's good to see you again. And thanks for having us here. And absolutely, Sidney just laid it out just perfectly. We are here to help build wealth in our community. And, I'm a former banker. I was an investment advisor, so I sold investments to individuals. And, it's really kind of amazing. Everybody makes money. Right? Whether you are African American or white or Hispanic, Asian, everybody makes money. But where the wealth divide is created is, what knowing or not knowing what to do with that income and how to turn that income into wealth. Because just because you make, a certain amount in terms of your income, that does not transfer into wealth unless you do certain things. And in our community, we have been, just like Sidney, he had to help his parents out. He's one of those, wealth transfers, child helping parents, because they grew up bigger. They didn't have an air condition or wash and dryer, etc. So, he was helping them, get those things that just made life comfortable. So that has been going on for generations. And now it's interesting because as we talk to our young folk, particularly African American, they are actually, really looking into this investing thing, because the only place you can really build wealth is not the house. It is not the house. The place, because just think about the house for just a second, and we'll talk about that a little more in detail. If everybody that owned it, if it were true that, the way to wealth is to buy a house, then everybody that that's buying a house should be wealthy. Is that true? It is not true. They have programmed us to think that way, but that's not true. And we have the numbers to back that up. Our program, Destination Financial Wellness, is not opinionated. It's not our opinion. We back everything up with fact, everything up with statistics, with analytics, so you can make your own decision. Again, it is not an opinionated course. And that's what has made it so popular. Over the last 21 years, we have been doing this for 21 years. And we've been kind of under the radar because we are business to business, business to government, meaning that businesses have to bring us in to offer our program to the employees, or the federal government brings us in and they pay us to offer the program to federal employees, et cetera, and universities. We just signed NYU, New York University, working with them. But the disconnect there, as I was talking about or addressing, is how to build wealth, because we stay away from the only place in America, in the world, that is just there to build wealth for you every day, 24 hours a day. And that's Wall Street. That's investing in stocks, in mutual funds, in index funds, in ETFs. And we have been programmed to be scared of that. Yet they all have their money there. And you see the results of that in the statistics that Sidney just read, but they want us there. So we have to try to get away from that. We've got to try to, open our minds and get the knowledge. When we are teaching our classes around the world, it's mostly white people in the class.
We don't have one person of color.
They are, and there's a 5-year waiting list. They are so hungry for this information, and they are so hungry to try to build wealth. But we stay away from it.
We do. And there's one person of color in our room, and it's usually an Asian American. And then once they see that we don't want anything from them, just like you'll see that today. We just want you to be schooled up and knowledged up and become wealthy in your own way, for your children, for your family, for your grandchildren, and create generational wealth. They pass the word on to other people. Hey, you need to go to that course. And when we come back, then there's a Black individual, there's a sister or a brother in the room. And then they'll come up on the side and say, oh, I wish I knew about this. I wish I knew about it. And then so they'll go tell their colleagues and their workers, you need to go in there, and they look like us. And so then we get 5 and 6 and 7. Next thing you know, we've got half the people in the room, African American, people of color, because now they know this is a safe space that they can come and learn about money, learn about investing, and that thing about housing. I know the sharecroppers, and I know what happened in that week in Homestead where they took the land from us. And so we worked hard, our parents, your parents, right? We got to go get a house because we weren't given access. We weren't given loans back in the day. They took the land away. And so the big dream, the American dream, was to get a house, get our piece of the rock, right? That was important and still is. And then Wall Street and the government came together and said, let's dub it the American dream to purchase a house. That's the road to wealth in America. Well, let me tell you, it is the American dream for banks and for lenders, right? And realtors
Furniture companies.
and furniture. Why? Because when you build a house, you create jobs, right? You create jobs because the landscaper, the toilets and the sinks, right? And the shingles and the windows, these are small businesses. You are putting people to work. But when you get the numbers down to it, who really owns that house? You know, if you have equity in your house and your credit's bad, you can't get that equity out of your house.
That's
so
your money.
That's your money. You built that equity. So who owns the house? The bank does. When you sell it or when you go and refi, who do you have to go to get that money out? The bank. You see, they programmed us. But when you put your money in Wall Street,
that's yours.
You can go online, click, click, click. You got yourself your money.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay some capital gains. That's just the cost of doing business. They programmed us. We want to expand your knowledge base so that you can make decisions. When you go to your job next week and when you go through DFW, you're going to wait a minute. First, am I meeting the match? That's free money. That's like taking, if they say I'm going to match 3-to-1, you put $1 in, they say I'm going to put $3 in, and you left that on the table. Altogether, you got $4, and that money is burning in the market, and you're building wealth, and all of a sudden you set it and forget it. And we're going to show you today how that really builds wealth in your community. And you leave that money alone and let it grow. We know the market goes up and down. It's going to go high and low, peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows. That's just a part of it. When you go to an amusement park and you all get on a roller coaster, you get on that roller coaster knowing that it's going to be a thrill of a ride. You're going to do some flips and you're going to go down. It's going to be fast and it's going to be woo! And you're going to have some fun. But then you don't jump off of that roller coaster in the middle of that ride, do you? No. We're not going to do that. We don't jump. We're not going to get off that roller coaster until it stops and that belt comes up. That's when you are ready to retire because you know that's how it's going to go. We've got to remove these barriers, these knowledge barriers, because the money you earn every day, nobody comes into your house and tells you how to spend your money. This is a choice and a decision that each of you are making. So we want you to have what Saundra and I call in our team here at BC, balanced abundance. Balanced abundance. That is having your cake and eating it too. That is living the lifestyle you want. Get the car you want. Get the house you want, but we're going to get it within our means. We're not going to overspend. If it takes 2 signatures for you to buy this house or borrow this money, that's too much house. So we got to reel this back in and live within our means, tune out the noise, right? And manage it based on our balanced abundance. So we want you to live the lifestyle you want, but you also have to balance that with the wealth style. So if you make 100,000 and your take home is 80,000, then we want you to divvy up that 80,000 and say, okay, part of that 80 is going to go to my lifestyle, but part of that 80 is also going to go to my wealth style. What is wealth style? That is your 401k. That's your 403b. If you work for the federal government, that's your TSP, that's your 457, but also your investments on the outside that you're building wealth. Because and your emergency fund. So if you have an emergency fund, cash in the bank, which nobody should have a savings account unless it is purposeful for emergency. That's not investments, y'all. Okay? We got to get rid of that. Your savings account is for a purpose to handle the issues that come up in your life, whether it's a tire, whether it's a refrigerator breaking down, whether it's an air conditioner going down. You've got a pot of gold, because what most people do when things come up, they go to the credit cards. How do I know that? The average family in our country has 4 or more credit cards and they're maxed out. We actually use our credit cards to promote ourselves to middle class and upper middle class. You know why? Because nobody can see that you're using that credit card, or you're borrowing against your house, or you're borrowing against your 401k. to live the lifestyle that you live. We post it on Instagram. Everybody sees all our new clothes and our shoes and our cars, our trips, and they see our houses and our beautiful cars that we drive. But nobody can see the debt that you have accumulated to get those possessions. Nobody can see it. But I guarantee you this. If there was a fiscal meter on our foreheads that showed all that debt that we've accumulated for that lifestyle, we would change our financial behavior in a New York minute, because we don't want people to see that, right? But we're satisfied that they see the stuff. But if I come in that room today, or everybody that's viewing online, and I ask you one question, that question is going to be, how much, and I want you to think about this, how much is my signature worth? How much is my household worth? In order to determine that, you have to do a net worth statement, a personal financial statement. How much are you worth? I'm not talking about your income, because see, I could ride out here after this session here, which we got a podcast after this, but I can ride out here when we leave this office, and something could happen to me. And then, so I can't work. I can't earn income. Let's say that happens. And I hope it doesn't. But if it does, then what do I depend on? My wealth, my investments, my disability. I put things in place to cover that. The question is, how much are you worth? Each and every one of you. How much are you worth? That is what we're talking about today. DFW is going to give you the road to wealth that you come up with. What is your wealth? Because my wealth might be different than what yours is. But I don't want you to be income centric only. I don't want you to be title. Well, you know, I live in this neighborhood. I live in this zip code. I drive this kind of car. You know, I want you to be focused on your wealth. When you and your family get together, when everybody's gone, nobody's around, and you all sit down and you look at your total financial framework, your wealth needs to increase. And it's not mama's business or brother's business or your in-laws' business or your co-workers' business. It's how much are we worth today. And how do we determine that? You're going to do a net worth statement that's in this program. Okay, how much is my checking account? What's in our savings account? What's in our investment account? You know, what are our stocks that we have? What's in the 401k? What's in this? Okay, husband. Okay, wife. What's in yours? And together, that's what we're worth. That's what your signature is worth. You see, we've got to get organized. We've got to get schooled up in a safe place. We've got to remove the fear of Wall Street, because listen, last thing I'll say is, Saundra, don't come in, y'all. Because I'm fired up that y'all are here. If Warren Buffett and Oprah Winfrey and all these folks send their money to Wall Street, then we need to be sending our money to Wall Street, right? If you know, because their job is to make that dollar you send make money. They're not in business to lose money. That is the community. People get fired if they don't hit their numbers. McDonald's, you invest your money in McDonald's because you go to McDonald's all the time. So I tell you, that burger tastes a whole lot different when you eat that burger and you own the company. It tastes sweet. You know, it tastes real good. You know, it's like, okay, I own this burger. You know what? I invested my money. You might have a conversation with the manager. Say, look, you do a good job typically, but I own this company. Maybe you can spend some time. Now, don't go in there telling people what to do. Don't do that now. But what I'm trying to tell you is, we need to become owners in our community. And so, because most of us in our community, if I'm keeping it real, from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, we fuel somebody else's wealth. That's what we do. Enough of that already. Okay? We're getting ready to start fueling our own community and our own wealth. Okay.
Okay. So, you know, in the end, what DFW does, and just to kind of simplify it a little bit, is DFW gets you to the point where you can run your household like a business. You know, everybody's going to become a CEO. A lot of people want to run their own business. You're running a business, and that's how you should run your household. There are a lot of things that go into it. There are a lot of decisions that you have to make. And DFW covers everything from A to Z when it comes to making decisions, financial decisions that will impact the pace and the amount of wealth that you can build over time. So, there's a lot of things that are out there in terms of personal finances. What we do at DFW, what we have done well with BC Holdings the last 21 years, is we have connected the dots. How does, a goal work? How does your personal financial statement work? You're going to use your personal financial statement to build wealth. Most people will complete one when they're going into debt to buy a house, etc. How does credit play a part? Planned spending, budgeting, all of these. There's some programs out there that just kind of focus on ISO, this topic of that topic, but we pull it all together for you and we make it or help it make sense. This economic thing and this the financial thing, we help you pull it all together. And a lot of people say, oh my gosh, this is, why, and this is why I should do this. This is why I should do that. Because as the CEO, again, you're running your business, so you have income. That's your income coming in. Those are like your sales, like you have a store. So your sales are coming in. That's your income. So there are only two buckets. Every single dollar, penny, quarter, dime, will go. Only two places. You as the CEO, you have the decision to either route that dollar, that penny, that quarter to your lifestyle, your house, your car, your vacations, your jewelry, yada, yada, all of that. Or you route it to your wealth style, as Sidney talked about, your investments at your workplace, your IRAs, your investments on the outside at Charles Schwab, Merrill Edge, your emergency funds. You're the only person that decides which direction or which bucket, remember, only two buckets, that money goes into. And therein lies, the method or the path that you can take in order to, build wealth the right way, build generational wealth. Again, the kids nowadays that we talk to all the time, African American communities, they're investing. Most of them will open up an investment account. Yes, buy the Nikes, absolutely. Yes, buy the iPhone, etc. But we have to, and that's the consumer mindset. Buying these things that, that's the lifestyle part of it, which is okay. But you also have to think about, okay, if I'm buying a Nike phone, an Apple phone, I need to own Apple stock.
I know that's right.
If I have Nike shoes, then that means that, maybe I buy some Nike stock, and they make it easy today, because when I was in the investment world, when I was an investment advisor, you had to buy whole shares of stocks. Right now, you can buy $5 worth of Amazon or, Apple or McDonald's. It doesn't take $5. It doesn't take a lot. They have made it so easy to invest, so easy to build wealth. We have to be in that arena. Our kids and your kids, we call them the Robin Hood generation. We have to gap with the pre-retirees, make sure that everybody is in that area.
And I'll see when that Amazon comes down your street making a delivery, we need to be saying, oh my God, in my pocket, change our mindset. That Amazon truck stop making a delivery. But every time you see trucks out there on the road, when you are making money, we $1. We're going to say $1. Holla. So if you own Amazon, see, it's about mindset. How we look at things, right? It's all about changing these dynamics. Consumers, spenders, to savers, and investors. You can buy that Nike shoe. You need to own Nike stock. Abundance. You can go at the restaurant. You need to also own restaurant, right? balanced abundance. That's eat it too. If you put all your money into your sweets and you have nothing to start, and at the end, your plan is your social security, then you've missed it. Is the land of opportunity. There's no question. People trying to get in our country because they know it's the land of opportunity. If our economics are a chessboard, we don't know the names of the pieces on in our economy. We certainly don't know each of those possess. Therein lies the failure in our community. Yes, acknowledge that equity in our community. No question about it. But I also acknowledge that in 30,000 plus road to wealth, we have to work hard. We have to work extra. We have to work as hard, more hard than anybody else. Our peers are out there, even us, business. But let me be clear. We don't use that as an excuse. Sitting here talking to you, money in the market today, but that money of yours, like if you down there working, needs to be working. Take a day off because it's then your money you can get. But you have two jobs. Number one job is go to you can get your income promoted, make as much money. Two job, use some of that money to help, not in getting using that money you earn. Now, what you're looking at is destination.
So destination financial program is broken up into modules and it's written on an 8th grade. We do that because we want, this is a house journey. Everybody in your household is journey. So kids, the kids to be able to pick this, follow it. So that's that, you know, so every household can take this together. So we're not finding out. So that's that, you know, so every household can take this.
I think talking.
Yeah, your audio is breaking up on our end.
Oh, is it?
We're catching every other word.
Okay. Let's see.
It's a reverb. We talking.
Can you drop and relaunch? Oh, you got it up.
Try muting the other computer that you got in this that's not in the stream yet, the one that's showing the program.
It's muted. Yeah, somebody muted.
All right, I'm sharing and let me go back over and see things. Camera resolution, audio, mic is the on the right mic. I'll try for mic. How's that sound now?
Is that better?
We're still getting static in between.
You're still getting static in between. Okay.
I'm going to take you out of the stream for a minute and then bring you back in.
Okay.
I'm going to take you out of the stream for a minute and then bring you back in. Okay.
And we'll log off and log back in. How does that work? Is that okay too?
You're better now.
Oh, we are better?
Yeah.
We'll log off and log back in. How does that work? Is that okay too?
Oh, there's a delay.
Yeah, so we're getting a bit of a delay too. But if that's better, we'll roll on. You let us know, Dr. Cole. Getting a bit of a delay too. But if that's better.
I think we're good now.
Okay. All right.
All right, so I was saying that DFW, the program is written on an 8th grade level. So everybody in the household, it's important that teenagers get started as soon as possible. Because Warren Buffett bought his first stock at 11 years old. If they're cutting the grass or they're babysitting or bagging groceries, they can buy stock. That is, or in other investments, it is important for them to start as early as possible, and we'll show you why. So it's laid out layman terms. It's easy to follow. Go step by step, and in the end, you're going to have a wonderful financial plan to follow, your own financial plan to follow, which only the wealthy get. You get that in this program if you just work through it.
And I'll also say, something tangible and real, because I grew up as poor as anybody could imagine, y'all. There were 9 of us in a 3-room house. 9 of us in a 3-room house. And one of the rooms was a bathroom. So can you imagine that? In a shotgun house down in the south of Alabama. And my dad didn't make a lot of money. My mom stayed home to take care of all of us. And they weren't able to send us to college. For Christmas, I got candy canes and apples and oranges and maybe some t-shirt, undershirt, and a shirt. That was it. And I said, if I ever get the opportunity to go and figure this thing out, then I'm going to educate and I'm going to help my family. And I'm going to make sure that I don't have to do this. There has to be a better way. And the Lord blessed me with my wife next to me here. And she had the same goal. Don't tell me the Lord doesn't align those for the greater good of others. That's exactly what he does. And so now this Christmas, see, it's a mindset thing. And this is a challenge to each and every one of you. And don't worry about how, because we're going to show you how. But this Christmas, instead of buying your kids gift cards, how about buying them stock and make them owners of companies? Let's put that under the Christmas tree. We're only a few weeks away from Christmas, relatively speaking. Let's buy them some McDonald's. If they like the Nike shoes, let's make them owners of Nike. If they like Under Armour, then let's make them owners. And we don't have to get them the $190 pair of shoes. Let's say, okay, I'm gonna get you a $90 pair of shoes. Don't take it all away. But I'm also gonna get you
$10 worth of Nike stock.
I'm gonna buy you some Nike stock. I'm gonna make you owners. And guess what? I'm gonna show y'all today what that stock is gonna look like when they are in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. You can make them wealthy today. You can put them on the road to wealth. There is no reason why we shouldn't, because nobody controls the money that comes through your front door except for you. So with that said, I'm going to share the program with y'all right now. And hopefully we can keep the audio going.
Let us know.
Let us know.
If.
Because you can do this. This is not hard. I wasn't the smart. And by the way, my credit was so bad, y'all. I can't believe Saundra married me with my credit being that bad.
I didn't know what it was. We may not be here today.
All that 28 years ago, but the Lord is good. I'll tell y'all right now. I'll tell you right now. It was bad. And had she checked my credit as a criteria,
I don't know.
I'm just letting y'all know now. It doesn't always start out good. So don't be ruling nobody out because their credit not good. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. So here we go. This is Destination Financial Wellness, and you can see, this is the program that the airline going to get, the federal government gets. Here you are. You've been put in position to do this for yourself. Okay, it's your season to win with money. It's no accident that we met Dr. Cole in the federal government space. And suddenly you are here. Yes, we're going to be there with you because we care about it. So you're looking at Destination Financial Wellness, but you'll get the program if you want it, but you'll also be able to email us with questions you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're going to give you this and we're gone. No. we will support. So you're like, okay, I'm in here and I'm trying to figure this out. And then we've got some folk here that will route you to us. And suddenly we're going to walk with you. Financial wellness is not a single event like today. It is a process. You're not going to go to the gym and get it all worked out in one visit. So we got to work together on this. Okay. So let me tell you about DFW. I'm going to go to the modules. You've got a dashboard where you can put your name and all that. There's a tutorial. It'll walk you through it. It's really easy. That's one of the number one comments we get, that is so easy to get through it. So you get in here, and here are your modules, and I want to walk you through it. So we take care of your students, your kids in college. But
Sid, we can see you are giving some fantastic information, but we cannot hear you. You're on mute.
Wow.
Oh.
Now
y'all, I said some great stuff. Oh, y'all missed it. I don't even know if I can, boy. Oh my goodness, y'all missed out on that now. Okay, all right. I go with the flow. I go with the spirit. But let's just get in here, and let's get back to the program. And we're going to start from the beginning. Okay, share. And Edge, DFW, share audio. All right, there we go.
Okay,
So,
test.
Are we good? Can everybody hear me?
yeah.
All right. So we've got it right here, My CEO Central. And when we get to a place, when we get in here and the word gets out, we could just read. Willing to do that. Totally. Your district is. But right here, what is that you Saundra and I will be in our company, like we're going to get, we're going. Questions about thing in here. It is you, and so our like right cafe section in here, right? This is for and they and I'm saying that independent. I mean, next thing you know, they ask for money. You get us too, isn't it? That independent. So we're gonna make sure we're gonna introduce this program, and you're gonna have a monthly budget a family monthly.
And we lost your audio again.
Good.
Seems like every time you go in the screen share with the other computer, we lose the audio.
Cole, do you think you could send them a Zoom link and then share it to district YouTube page?
Now unmute your other mic, Sid.
So
Okay, so when we share, it automatically mutes. So how about now?
Now you sound okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I think we got it now.
Okay, I think we got it. So how about now?
Okay, good.
All right, okay.
I need to get back in.
So, no, it's just, well, should you? Okay.
Because I see what they see.
Okay, good. Okay, so I don't know what you did in here, but we were talking about the Student Financial Cafe is in here for you. Your kids matter. When they go to college, it matters. This has sections about student loans, and it has things about budgeting in college, and they want to be independent, our kids. They always say they want to be independent, but that includes financial independence. Yes.
Lost it again. It was good, and then another device came in, and your audio kicked out again.
Okay, the audio now?
Now we're good.
Okay, all right, so, I have to pick up where we left off. Okay, so next time when we're in person, we won't have to do this, y'all.
I know.
We won't have to do this. We won't have to do it. So the Student Financial Cafe will take care of your children. The introduction in college and school prepares them for student loans. It helps them learn about loan repayment and borrowing less so that the interest rate won't be exploding while they're in school, and not to use student loan money to go and take trips, around the country. Keep it low, because that takes out real estate and their future income. And then introduction to financial wellness. We're going to tell you what this is all about during your family monthly budget committee meeting, where you should schedule it on the calendar, just like we do. Every single month, we schedule a meeting to discuss our financial framework, whether it is about our budget, whether it's about our net worth, our debt, our credit, our estate planning, our wills, our trust for our kids. We have a meeting together. That is what you do. You treat it like it's a business, right? You've got money coming through the front door. So that means that you're the CEO or co-CEO of your household, and you have to walk through it. So we introduce that to you in the introduction. Then we talk about the North Star. the North Star. What is a North Star? Every one of you are going to have a North Star. It is the total amount of investable assets, not income, your total amount of investable assets that you are going to accumulate so that you can walk away from work, or at least have the option to walk away and live the life of hopes and dreams that you want. While you are during your earning years, you will prepare for your North Star with the earned income that you make. So we take a systematic step-by-step process. See, let me break that down to just everyday life. We're in the football season right now, whether it's high school, college, or NFL. And if you're on that team and you're out there on that field, you're on the team, but you don't know where the goal line is. So how can you score or win with money if you don't know where the goal line is? You're out there, you're working your careers in your jobs, but you don't have a goal with your money. That's most people in America. They don't have a goal. 8 of 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck. One paycheck away, one medical emergency away, one catastrophic event away from losing everything. 64% of America cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing money. You see, when you have a goal, then it'll change your financial behavior. So we're going to show you where the goal line is. That is the number that you and your spouse or you will need in order to walk away from work. We as human beings perform better when we know where the goal line is. So you're going to have a financial goal. And when you do the North Star portion, which you take your time going through it, you will separate yourself from the majority of America. So once you know where you are on the football field, where the goal line is and how to score, then we have to do a personal financial statement to determine where you are on the field. Okay. How far do you have to travel on that football field to get down to the goal line and score? Do you have enough wealth to walk away today? Well, you're going to know because you haven't done your North. It will tell your line. You're doing the rest. Do this person. No, I made spouse come you if you're it's going to show you that's
Lost you again. The devil is a lie. He just doesn't want y'all to give us his information.
all right. Log back.
Some people saying that we'll be getting short.
They logged out. They're going to log right back in.
Hey, who moved that camera? Don't put it on the floor.
Right, okay.
All right.
All right, mic check.
You're good.
Okay.
All right. We're going to keep going at it, y'all, until we get there. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to walk through the program. Once you get an idea in banking, sometimes we're intimidated with banking. So we're going to go through banking module to help you know what accounts you should be in. Am I in the right account? How do I build a relationship with the branch manager, not the CSR rep, the branch manager? They need to know your name because you're going to be conducting business in there. And then the personal financial statement on that football field. If you know where the goal line is with your North Star, the personal financial statement is going to show you where you are and the distance you have to travel to the goal line. You may be on your own 5-yard line. That's okay. That's all right. We're going to change the way we go about business in order to score and win with our money. And so once we know out of all the money that we have made in our lifetimes, the personal financial statement is going to show us what we have to show for it, right? Have we spent it all on clothes and trips and cars or depreciating asset, or do we have wealth to show for it? What I'm going to do? Every talking about manage your discretionary or what?
Lost it again.
You don't want to try it? Seems like somebody's better than yours.
On my hello. Oh shit. Place. Go text. If I do.
Facebook.
Hey, Sid,
Hear me now?
we can hear you now.
I'm gonna change this over and move away from the mic in our office, and I'm gonna go to the mic on my computer,
Okay.
and that might make a difference. How about now?
Yeah, 'cause your mic in the office might be picking up both computers.
Yeah,
Well,
she's
mine's
not
not
logged
on.
in anymore.
I'm not on.
Yeah, now it's clean.
It's clean. All right. So the North Star, I think you may have heard me there. That's very important for everybody to know where the financial goal line is. And once you know where the goal line is, the personal financial statement is going to show you where you are currently out of all the money that you have earned in your lifetime, you and your spouse together. What do we have to show for it? Most people do not conduct a personal financial statement unless they're borrowing money, a house or a car. You're going to do a personal financial statement and show your family and your children about net worth in America. This is the conversation, everybody, that they don't think we know. But you going through this, you're going to know about net worth, and you're going to know what you're worth today because you're going to take your time and go through it and get it right. So there's going to be a distance between where you want to be and where you currently are. And how do we close that gap? We're going to do a budget. We're not just going to conduct a budget that shows our income, our take home, our net pay minus our expenses equals our discretionary income or our spend. We are going to give you a roadmap that's going to lead you straight to your North Star. Your budget is so important. You've got to tune out everybody, lock it in one weekend with you and your family, and you all have to get that budget together because it's your launch. It's so important. And if you don't get the launch right, you will fail. We have laid it out in a step-by-step method in how you need to proceed. So once we get our budget under control, it tells us where to go on the way to our North Star. It tells us if we can afford to buy that shirt, if we can afford to go out to dinner, if we can afford to take that trip. You have to follow it. That's when your discipline kicks in. That's when your stick-to-itiveness kicks in. So then some of you are in debt. We're going to end that debt sentence, literally. So you go through our debt analysis and reduction module, and it's going to give you a 5-step reduction to get rid of debt and become debt-free. So you have to be disciplined in it. You've got to take inventory of all the debt that you have, and don't be afraid of it. Get it listed in the calculator, and then you're going to snowball. We've got the best debt reduction plan, the snowball and the avalanche. And you just pay one debt off at a time, and then you make the minimum payment on everything else, right? So when I say pay one off at a time, if you've got a Visa credit card that's 10% interest, and it's X number of payment, you're going to do your budget and say, okay, if the minimum payment, which is a trick, right? That's a bait right? Because most of us can't see the hook for the bait that they put on there to get us to get this credit card. Okay. When you actually do your budget, you're going to say, all right, we're going to attack this one debt at a time. So if they want 45 or 50 or $100 and you found in your budget, you can add $50 to that. So your new payment is 150 and you'll make the minimum payment on everything else. You will pay that off faster. You will pay less interest. And then once that's paid off, you roll it down to the next debt that you're going to attack and you make the minimum payment on everything else. And so you'll see that your snowball is going to get bigger. You'll attack each debt at a time. And at the end of the day, it will be gone and you will be debt free and you will have more cash to invest with. Then we're going to work on your credit. Your credit is important. You need to have a 740 or higher. This module is going to teach you all about it. Let's go inside of it and let me show you how it looks. So every module is going to look like this. And it's going to have different pictures, different colors. And it's going to tell you right up front how many lessons are in here. And then you just go down to the bottom and you click next. I hope y'all be able to hear this.
So let's go to component number 3. That is component number 3 out of 8. What we're talking about here is credit. So credit.
So Dr. Cole, can you all hear that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Touches every bit of your financial future, of your financial framework, your personal financial statement. Don't let anybody tell you that it does not. It is so important to your financial future. It touches everything. Just like all of your financial decisions have an impact on your personal financial statement.
Take notes. You can make this your favorite and it'll be right there in your dashboard. Okay. And you see over here, you can close this off if you want. You can open this back up. You'll walk right through here. And at the end, after we teach you about credit, then you take action. You go and you're going to click here and you go pull your credit report from the 3 credit agencies, not Credit Karma, not Credit Wise, not all these other folks, TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax, not just for yourself, but for your spouse. So, and then you're going to log it in, what your credit is. And like we said, everybody needs to have a 740 or higher to get you in the best position to win. And then at the end of each module, you're going to see that there's a deeper dive. And these videos, they're only 1 to 2 to 3 minutes. They're not long, right? But we put the book in here in case you want to take a deeper dive and learn more. You can read the actual book if you don't like watching videos or listen to audio or watching animation. So that's how that works. Let's move on. And I know we're getting short on time. Okay. So right here, after we get past credit, then I want you to focus on the very next module, which is emergency funds. Everybody needs to have an emergency fund. If you have to start with $25 each or $100 a month, put it in that account and keep adding it every month. Make it automatic out of your paycheck because that emergency fund is going to keep you from using credit cards when something happens. It's going to keep you from borrowing against your 401k or borrowing from the equity in your home or doing a cash out refi, right? And then how to purchase a car, how to purchase a home, and retirement planning. We're going to give you all of that to help you understand. You may not understand all of the funds at your at work. And are you invested in the right thing? What makes sense for me so that I can make the most with my money? Okay. And then investments. Oh, yes, we're going to talk about investments. And so I'm just going to go. You can see here, it's going to, some of you may feel like, I don't understand it. I don't really get investing. Well, this is going to show you. This is going to remove that knowledge barrier. So you'll walk right through this, and it's going to give you everything that you want. And there are calculators at the end of the North Star. You have to put your information in. There's a net worth statement in the personal financial statement. You have to put your information in. There's a budget calculator that you'll use. You don't need to go anywhere else because you have DFW. Last thing I want to show you. When you get to the investments, so you can look here, let's say that, and you can do some projections. This is fun stuff, you all, because this is where the wealth gap exists, our lack of knowledge in this space. So let's say some of you are going to work for another 25 years. And okay, all right, that didn't set right. I hear that feedback right. You can hear me on that one. Okay, let's say this is your 401k. But well, where y'all at now? Okay, so then let's say you've got $100,000 right now in your 401k. And let's say, now this is just lofty goals. We can adjust this, but according to the IRS today, we can invest $22,000 maximum $500. So we're talking about maybe $1,900 a month, or you times 2 if you get paid twice a month. And let's say that the annual average return on that investment, you're just letting it come out of your paycheck. You don't ever see it. I just want to show you what's possible. That's what I want to show you. See, no racism anywhere, no discrimination anywhere can stop this from happening. You see, this is what you do. So if you make, let me get my calculator real quick here. So if you make 100 grand, let's say $80,000 a year, okay, divided by 12 months, that's $6,666 a month, okay? And what we're saying is, if you've got 22,500 divided by 12, that's $1,875 of that 66 that you would commit to that, and you live off of the rest. Okay, that divided by 2 is $937 every paycheck coming out of your check every single month to go towards your 401k, and you're getting a match. You're going to get this number in 25 years. Now, let's back it down. Let's say 15 years. What would it look like if I'm investing at that pace? You're still going to be a millionaire. You're still going to be in a position where you don't have to just depend on Social Security as your retirement plan. Okay, well, I've got 10 years left. So let's say 10 years. You can go in DFW and figure this out. $653,000 that you've got saved up, and you've got your Social Security. And with the debt reduction, you paid off your mortgage, and you will be in pretty good shape. Well, Brother Curry, I can't do 22,000 right now. Okay, well, let's say you can do 15,000 right now, which is 15,000 divided by 12 is 1,250 divided by 2. So $600 every paycheck coming out, okay, into your investment. What will that do for me? Okay, that's still $500,000 in 10 years. What if you can get it up to, what if you're going to work another 20? You're sitting at over $1 million. All you have to do, everybody, is set it and forget it. And then look, we've got a graph down here where you can see. Now, the market's not going to be up every year. We see that right now. But this is over that period that you put in there, over 20 years, over 30 years. It's as simple as this, everybody, in terms of building wealth. Inside this program, there are wills, there are trusts, there are medical directives, there are power of attorneys that you'll be able to download. We're not going to be able to get it all in today, but what's important here is that you see what's possible if you do your deep dive into this. You can see how to educate yourself, how to educate your family, and then how to take action. Is everybody interested in moving forward with building wealth? I already know the answer to that question. The question is, are you going to take the time to change your financial paradigm? I believe that you are. I believe that you will. I believe that you're going to make a difference for yourself and your children and the future generations that's come behind you, because we can't control what they do. What we can control is with the knowledge, because that we gain from DFW, we can change our financial paradigm. The last thing I'll say is you have to be knowledge rich in order to gain financial stability and become financially rich. So what questions do we have? What thoughts? How are we feeling? Beside the audio issues, let's put those aside. The devil is a lie. What are we thinking? I'm happy to call on you. It's okay to talk about money in a public setting, everybody. It is perfectly fine. No comment is a wrong comment. So, all right, I'm going to call on somebody. There's somebody sitting to the right there, and she has on a mask. And there you go. Raise your hand. Yeah, go ahead and raise your hand. No, somebody raise your hand. I'm going to tell you who I'm talking to.
Reverend people.
Is it Reverend people? There's
No,
a lady right there.
I don't think you can see Reverend Peoples on camera.
I can't. Somebody raise your hand.
Is it me?
No.
Raise your hand. There you go. There you go. Don't act like you don't see me or hear me. Don't even try.
Sister Cheryl.
Don't do it. Okay. What are you thinking about what we're talking about?
I think it's very good information. I am already retired, so too late for that planning. It was kind of forced on me because of a relocation of my job at the time. However, and I did some of the right things, so I'm okay, but I'd like to definitely be better. So I think this will help me in that direction.
Do we have wills? Do we have trust? Do we understand who's on our team? So those are other things from a state planning standpoint and securing the wealth that we have. And we can continue to invest, right? We can certainly continue to invest on the outside of the workplace when it comes to your maybe stocks and mutual funds. Are our kids, if you have children, are they investing in the market? You know, these types of things. There's so many things we can do to continue to build intergenerational wealth and remove generational dependency and generational poverty to help the next generation, and then helping people in your circle, because we have to pass this information forward, don't we? We can't just keep it to ourselves and enrich ourselves. We've got to make sure other people know in the flock, everybody else at the church. Listen, you need to get in here and make a difference. So let's get schooled up. So that's really good feedback that you offered. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to the other side over here. Oh, I see a hand. We're going to go there first.
Why are we as a people afraid of the stock market?
Well, we hear in the universe that I've lost money. I've lost money. Are they going to take our money? And I lost money. And we don't make the effort. Plus, you pair that with, or you juxtapose that with our instant gratification desire and trying to catch up and measure up. And so if I don't see a quick return, then it's not worth my time. When we work with the NFL, they made a lot of money, all these millions. And so Saundra worked with them and they said, look, you got a 3-to-1 return match on your money. How many people out of 53 players on this team are investing in the 401k? And you know how many hands went up? 3. 3 hands went up in a 3-to-1 match. Okay, so they say, don't be talking to me about some pie in the sky. I got ham where I am. I got cash right here. I don't want to wait till 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If I don't see the end, and then she put in the calculator and showed them, all you have to do is invest this much, and you will never have to work a day in your life in your 40s. You can retire in your 40s.
This is the definition of wealth, too.
And the definition of wealth.
They can't hear me.
So the definition of wealth, people get confused when you talk about income and wealth and material things.
People, Black individuals, think that the material, they can't hear.
Okay.
The material things like the car.
They believe that our cars are wealth.
Right.
A car is a depreciating asset that's going to literally be worth zero. It's going to be riding down. You'll be going down the interstate and see this tractor trailer and all these cars smashed. At some point, that car is going to be in a junkyard, okay, being sold as scrap metal. But that's where we put all of our money, okay? We put all of our money into the house. But we are afraid of that stock market because we don't understand it. The fear of losing money. And then there's not instant gratification. And we get confused in the things that we consider wealth.
How do we know? How do we know or have an idea of what a good investment is?
That's a great question. In the investment section, you're going to see how we evaluate stocks and index funds and so on with our reads. It's performance. See, you're getting down to it. That's a wonderful question. So the bottom line is we look at the 1 year return. What did it earn in a year? But we're not going to make a decision on that. We're going to look at the 3-year average return on that particular stock or investment, but we're not going to make a decision on that. We're going to look at the 5-year, okay? But we will look at how that investment performed over the last 10 years. And if it did well and it performed, and we're going to show you, the investment section shows you how to read it. So if it performed and it had an annual average return of 10% over 10 years, then that's a viable opportunity to invest in. And then you put your money in there and you don't touch it. You say, okay, I'm going to start with $50 a month. I'm just going to keep going, $50 a month. And that is how you build wealth. You evaluate it with its performance. You also look at the fees. So you can't let somebody around there in New Jersey come up to you and say, hey, I want you to invest in this right here without asking them, well, what did it earn in the last 10 years? Okay, how much are you going to charge me for that? See, you're making a transaction. When you go into a store and you buy something, you look and see how much that item costs. And you're going to know how much the taxes are and what the charges. Are there any hidden fees when you make that purchase? You're going to do the same thing when you purchase your cars, when you purchase your homes, and when you purchase your investments, because these are transactions. Whether it's at work, okay, what are the fees for this 401k that I'm paying to get this transaction? So you're going to look at the fees. You're going to look at the returns. You're going to look at the annual average return on it, right? So that's how you know, does it meet your need? If you get into index funds, which means you don't own the stock or the equity, you follow the performance of the market, which is what most people should do. You know, get yourself in the S&P 500, follow the performance of the 500, and you just set it and forget it and let it go. And you know, if it's earning an average annual return of, let's say 10%, you know right now with the number of money, go into the investment growth spreadsheet, what you're going to have in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You let the numbers and the information in the investment section do the talking for you. You don't need anybody to help you with that.
It sounds like this program will elevate a novice out of that status.
That's right.
So that they have the information they need to make at least an educated decision on where they want to invest. Because what happened with me was I have an investment going, but I had to take the advice of someone who called himself put me in a safe mode. But a safe mode says the chances of really acquiring any equity or anything is very slim.
That's right. Safe mode is like a bond, right? A government security or an annuity. You know, somebody comes up to you saying, let me sell you an annuity. You need to say, bless your heart. No, thank you. Bless your heart. No, thank you. You see, they make the most money. They don't call it annuity. They're going to give it a nice name. And see, just like I received this mailing yesterday, had a nice steak and shrimp on that thing. Have y'all guys know? They want to invite you down there and they want to give y'all a good meal and get you. Now we in the church today, but let's talk real. They want to get you liquored up. And they want to get you down there and feed you, and they're gonna tell you the world is falling apart, and that the monetary market is bad and the stock market is in tumult, and I want to put you into something safe. What they don't tell you is that annuity that they're trying to sell you makes them the most money of any other stock or investment that they offer. But they feel like they're getting to you emotionally. See, they're putting you at ease. They're making you feel good because they don't think you know the other side. We will solve that problem. And so when you go through, you're right, whoever asked that question, this will get the novice schooled up. But see, your backup is contacting us and say, okay, I went through the investment section. I feel good about this. I want to learn how to do this. What are my next steps? It's going to tell you how to do it. And then somebody approaches you and you're going to say, they're asking me to do this. All you have to do is emails. We're going to say, send it to us and we'll give you a response. We're going to be here with you. So you're not by yourself when you, even after you go through the program. Yes, ma'am.
So on your credit report, you said we can get the 3 credit reports from the 3 TransUnion, Experian,
Equifax.
and Equifax, yes. So if you find any negative statements on your credit report, does it tell you how to go about removing those? How to
Yes,
go back to
ma'am.
those
That's a
credit
wonderful,
reports?
yes, ma'am. That is a wonderful question.
Tell them that 80% of the people. that go through
Sandra wants me to tell you because you can't hear her right here. That Saundra is the commissioner of credit. I want y'all to know that, okay? She has met with tens of thousands of people. 80% of people who go through this program, this credit section, improve their credit score. So that speaks for itself. The numbers, the measurables. This is what the companies and the airlines and all these people who are contacting us know, right? 80% of everybody who goes through our credit section increase their credit score. It tells you how to fix those problems. It tells you how to dispute those problems. And in our community, what we found, because we work with academia and college students as well, in our community, students will come to us and say, hey, I pulled my credit report. That's not my Bank of America credit card. That's not my Wells Fargo. I didn't do that. Well, they come to find out that mom or dad, brother or sister, or spouse filled out a credit card in their name to help with their lifestyle. The statistic is 43% of all victims of fraud knew the perpetrator. That's friendly fraud. That's somebody in your house. Fraud. Friendly fraud. So it will tell you how to go in there and dispute it.
Okay.
How to get it removed. And we'll tell you how to what to attack first to raise your credit score. When you go to Experian, that's what we recommend you pull. Experian, you're going to see they're going to have a circle up there. And it's going to show with each credit card or in summary what your usage rate is. So if you're spending 85, 95% of your limit, it's going to show it. All you have to do to get your credit score to go up instantly is pay down the usage rate. And you'll see your score. You don't have to pay anybody anything to fix that. It's going to walk you through every bit of it, step by step.
Absolutely. There's a question in the chat. It says, in relation to all that you shared, what about the recession that is being projected?
So that's a wonderful question. We're going to have a crash in our economy every 4 to 5 years. And we have to certainly program ourselves to understand that. And the recession when we are in a bull market, that means the economy is charging, the stock market is charging. When we're in a bear market, that means that your stocks, your equities are 20% down from that year's high. And when we are in a market correction, that means that the stock market is down 10% of what the high is that year. So at the end of day, we're going to experience a recession or an interruption in our market or crash in our economy every 4 to 5 years. But in DFW, it prepares you for that. See, because we have this thing called a 50-50 rule. So 50% of my income goes towards my wealth because most people are coming from behind. That's why the government, the IRS, set up catch up. So the max is $22,500, and then you can add additional money to help you catch up. So if you get on the 50-50 plan, that 50% goes towards your lifestyle, your house, your cars, your whatever, your whole lifestyle. The other 50% goes towards your wealth style, right? So even if the market crash in the wealth style side, you still have your house, you still have your car because you budgeted for that. In other words, we have a built-in hedge for the ebbs and flows and the highs and lows of the market. you still will be on plan. When you go through the budget test, you're going to do a means test. So what is my means? What is my spending? Am I living above my means, below, or within? So it doesn't matter, come what may, what the market does. It doesn't matter what the economy does. This program keeps you measured throughout, right? You're not going to stop investing if there's a crash in the market. You're not going to go pull your money out, because, especially if you have time on your side. Now, if you're going to be retiring in the next year, 2, 3, 4, then you'll move to a more safer posture, like the gentleman in the back was talking about. You know, lock in your gains because you don't have time left to keep investing. But if you're not, we've got to open up our minds and say, okay, the market is down. Oh my gosh, I lost some money. And we start panicking like we did in 2008 and 9, like we did during COVID. But here's the good news. What you have to look at is that if the market is down, that means that the market is on sale. That means that you are in a Kmart blue light special sale. So think about this. If you want a pair of give me some shoes. If you want Louis Vuitton, that Louis Vuitton purse is $1,000. I don't know how much it costs, but let's say it's $1,000. Okay. And then I know it may be higher than that. Now I don't know, y'all. I don't know. But 3,000. Okay. And so because of the recession, because of the market crash, now that thing is down to $250. Y'all would leave this session right now and go get that $250 thing. I hope you will say you wouldn't. No. But here's the thing, right? It's on sale. When we had the crash in 2008, the housing crisis, the financial crisis, the worst recession since the Great Depression, Bank of America stock was somewhere around $60, $70 a share. Guess what? It got all the way down to $1.16. That means you can go and buy 60 times the amount that you would have been able to buy if it was at its normal price. So you can't let ups and downs, highs and lows, peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows scare you. You've got to go and buy. After the Great Recession, let me tell you, there were 3 million new millionaires in our country who understood that. This is not old money. This is not money passed down. These are new millionaires, self-made, because they had cash that they can go invest in the market, and they became millionaires right away. So I don't want you to get afraid when we have a recession. I want you to take advantage. This is a buying opportunity. You see, we got to change. When we get knowledged up, the sea will part, and we can see everything. And you will learn all of this in DFW.
Question. Should we also include CDs in our investment portfolio?
Well, you know, CDs are viable, you know, and, you know, we have savings bonds. Our grandparents would buy kids savings bonds and certificates of certificates of deposits and things of that nature. What I would do, though, is just evaluate my portfolio. What are those CDs earning? You know, what are your goals? You know, when you do your North Star and you do your personal financial statement, you say, okay, my family, my household, my spouse and I, we're worth this. But my North Star says I need to be worth this in order to retire. Then you have to look, you're going to use your investment portfolio to close the gap and get you to your North Star. So that's your investments outside of work. That's your 401k plan. All together, that's your cash in the bank. All together should equal your North Star. And you've got to look at each and every person in this room here, and that's online. You've got to go look at your 401k and see what the earnings are. You've got to look at your investments and see what you're earning. You can't just put the money in there and say, I'm in my 401k. You may be in the wrong thing. But there could be a place for CDs when you get ready, you know, to retire or that type of thing. If you're ready to retire. So I want you to see what those CDs are earning. Is it 1%, 2%, 3%? And does that meet your goals to reach your North Star? So when you evaluate everything that's in your current portfolio, I want you in the fastest car that's going to get you to your North Star fast as possible and safe as possible.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'd like to ask about generational wealth.
Yes, ma'am.
Do your plan go into detail with that as far as helping your children, achieve the American dream, a house, is it safe to put your credit scores, to bring up their credit scores to get that home? Does it go into stuff like that?
So that's a gray area where what we're doing, the whole program is about generational wealth. If you're saying, I want to, I'm going to sign for my son or daughter to get the home, I don't know if you could clarify your question.
Well, I would say, like if you're in a position, your kid has bad credit.
Yes, ma'am.
For the home. So you're gonna put your credit with them and your financial well-being with them to obtain a home for them.
Yes, ma'am.
You have any information how you go about doing that? Is that allowed or?
Yeah, well, anything's allowed that you want to happen. That's the first thing. But what I would say is we want to improve our son or daughter's credit score so that we help. A house is a very long-term investment. It's 30 years. And in some cases with some folk, 15 years. And when you co-sign, because when you co-sign, essentially you're turning your credit over to someone else. That's a reality. That's the truth, right? And in our community, we like doing that. We're going to help, but, and you want me to be honest, and that's the only way we know how to be. If I give cosign for my brother or my sister, and then by the way, before I met Saundra, I used to do all that for all my brothers and sisters, and they never paid on time. And let me tell you right now, she said, this is ending today. I mean, she came in and put her foot down. And she said, you are not going to co-sign for your brothers and sisters anymore. And if they're going to want to borrow some money, you know what? I'm going to tell you the truth, y'all. I got to tell the truth. Inside the program that you have, there is a promissory note. So my brothers, my sisters, now I'm going to help my mom all day, and this with cash now. I'm not going to, if I'm going to buy something, we'll buy something. But there's a promissory note that my brothers and sisters have to sign. And I said, look, you are asking me to borrow some money. So here's what's going to have to happen. Number one, nothing's going to happen until I get Saundra to co-sign on this decision. No, co-sign, not in terms of money. Agree. That's what I mean by co-sign. She has to sign off on this decision, okay? But number two, you're going to have to sign a promissory note. You and your spouse going to have to sign a promissory note. You're going to show me the bill that you want paid, and you're going to show me how you're going to pay us back. And then I don't want interest from you. You're going to sign this, okay, and show that. So that puts into place right there accountability. That's all it is. We don't want to make money off of them, but if you're going to borrow the money, then you're going to pay it back. Now, when it comes to co-signing, we don't co-sign for anybody.
Well, and that debt adds to hers.
Yeah, and when you do that, yes. So when you do co-sign, if you make that decision, then you've just increased your debt to income, right? So that goes on your credit report, right? So then that's going to affect your credit. Okay, and you're responsible because if he or she doesn't pay, then you have to pay. So you've got to make sure your credit score will go down as well. So this is a big decision. Now, how can we improve our son or daughter's credit? They need to go through here themselves and improve their score.
But there's other ways to create generational wealth, and that's not what we want.
Okay, and so then she's saying she wants me to say this, y'all. I'm translating. What's happening here? Because she's in fact, why don't I move over? Why don't you come sit here? How about that? And you answer that.
There you go.
Well, just turn the computer. Let me see.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yes, when it comes to generational wealth, in our communities, we think again that, the house is the best place to do that. And, we say that we want to help and we want to do this and want to do that. But as a former senior lending officer in private banking and, doing other loans, it most of the times it starts out right, but then things happen. There's a reason why your son or daughter, their credit score is not, where it needs to be. Are they fiscally responsible? Do they understand that if they don't make that payment, then that's going to impact your credit score and lower that, if you are late on a mortgage payment, that lowers your credit score up to 110 points, 110 points for 7 years. 7 years. So you have to go and buy a car, or for yourself, or go into debt for some other reason for yourself, you're going to be declined. If that happens, or if you co-sign for this house, that's going to increase the amount of debt that you are obligated to pay, and you may be declined. So, you have to really kind of think about that. So if you want to create generational wealth, the best way to create generational wealth is to open up an investment account for them, or show them how to open up an investment account and help them buy stock, help them buy a mutual fund, an index fund. That is how you do it, versus going into debt, yourself to, buy an asset, for someone, and they may not, pay it on time. So, we do want to help our kids, when we can help our kids. I have a really good friend and this is about student loans. They always said, well, I want to pay the student loans for my child. So a child got into an Ivy League school, undergrad, came out, they owe, $400,000. And they are close to retirement, $400,000. Law school, she got into an Ivy. By the time she graduates from law school, they're going to be $900,000 in debt, close to retirement. So what happens? They can't retire because they wanted to help their child. I'm like, look, if she graduates from Harvard, she graduates from Harvard with a law degree, she's going to be able to make those payments herself. I mean, so it's kind of that mind. We need to, change in our community, change the mindset, and I said to her, I said, just imagine those loan payments that you're making now. Imagine that you are investing that money for her and how wealthy she would be when she graduated from law school. She would have over $400,000 cash versus them having $900,000 almost in debt. So it's just the mindset there. And yes, we do take you through that process in DFW to make those decisions. We always say that, DFW is kind of sort of like a crystal ball, because once you walk through it, we have some capstone simulations which say, if you make this financial decision today, this is more likely how you're going to look in 10, 20, 30 years. Or if you make this decision, this is how you're going to look, typically 10, 20, 30 years. A lot of the financial mistakes that we make, we make early, and it takes a long time to undo. That's just the way it is. So, what we try to do as well is to prevent you from making those mistakes, like co-signing for a car for your child or a house, those kinds of things. They almost always don't end up benefiting you. And when I'm doing credit reports, when I'm looking at credit reports, I always look at every single loan on that, whether it's a credit card or car loan, student loan, etc. And I'm marked whether it is an individual account or a joint account. Everything on your credit report should be individual account. I know we get married, I know we're in love, and I love, we want everything together, the car, the house, yada, yada. No, that's not what you do. That's not the right play. The right play, you want your credit report to be totally independent of your kids or your spouse, your sister, brother. It needs to be independent, and that's the way you need to start your kids as well. You know, our son, daughter, when they turned 18, they went to the bank, and we said, okay, they need to they open up a checking account and a credit card, just in their name. We're not anywhere on it at 18 years old.
Mhm.
That starts them on the road to financial independence when it comes to their credit report. What does that do? When they graduate from college, their credit scores, because you have to use the credit card, you have to pay it off. If you do that, their credit score is going to be 750, right? And that, what does that mean? I don't have to co-sign for a car. I don't have to co-sign for an apartment. They can get all of these things on their own. So, you know, yes, we try to help our kids, but a lot of times helping them handicaps them. And not only handicaps them, it handicaps us. Okay.
So in other words, the best way to create generational wealth is not just for you to go through DFW, but to bring your children through DFW as well.
Absolutely.
So that they're learning while you're learning,
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't make the same mistakes that you did, because now they understand it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then they see the long term, you know, like Sidney said, you know, building wealth, which is the core and crux of our of DFW. It's all about, in the end, building wealth. You know, you've got to start learning how to do that, you know, early on. And, you know, starting with your kids, like I said, Warren Buffett bought his first stock at 11 years old. Our kids, they started their own. We started investment portfolios for them when they were 10, 11 years old. They're going to be multimillionaires just because of that. Have we ever signed for an apartment? No. Have we ever signed for a car loan? No. And they know, don't come to us for that.
Now when
don't come to us for that.
Saundra, she made all these
Can-
credit decisions. Can y'all hear me?
Wait, now.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Sandra made all these credit decisions because of how bad mine was at the beginning.
exactly.
That's a fact. But
when
here-
you know better, you do better.
Here's the reality for your son specifically, for the lady who asked that question. So if their credit is, you know, challenged and not 740, let's get them in the credit section. And let's get them schooled up on how to raise their score.
They may have to wait.
Yeah, they may
have
have to wait.
And it's okay
right?
to wait.
Because I want you to make this decision, but I want you to go into this decision with everything as strong as possible, right? We don't want to make this decision prematurely. So that means you need to get your credit score over 740. And if you follow the credit section, it's going to show you how to get that done. Then we need him to go to the real estate section and go through that part, because the real estate section will show you, and the budget section, you know, your house should not exceed 25% of your monthly income, right? So we need to make sure we purchase a house that's within the means, his means or her means, so that it doesn't prohibit them from investing. Because most people, you know, you have the house payment and the interest associated with that, but they forget about the wraparound costs, the run-on costs, the maintenance, the upkeep, you know, the lawn care, all the upgrades. In order for that house to build in value, we've got to make sure that it matches the comps in that subdivision, right? So you've got to get the subway tile, and you have to get the other things to match. Otherwise, they may not value it as high. But at the end of the day, we need our kids to go solo on these types of transactions when they're able to, and do it the right way. So that, because a realtor in a New York minute will tell you that I might be able to get you pre-approved for this. Don't worry about that.
So they have those no dot loans.
No dot loans. You can go get the house you want.
And again, and it's just not bad for our community. Those no dot loans.
Yes.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna, the interest rates are.
They can get you into any kind of house that you
now.
want to get
They'll pay
in.
more than 7%.
We just need to make sure that when that person gets into this space and place, that they have the right credit score, that the budget, that the house is well within their budget, so that it doesn't prohibit them from investing.
So on any loan,
Okay.
they underwrite based on.
And you know, one other thing, when you are, you know, co-signing, a lot of people think that, you know, well, my credit score is higher, so the interest rate is going to be lower. No, when you underwrite a loan, that interest rate is based on the lower credit score. So, you know, mortgages average, yeah, because it's a higher risk. So mortgages right now are 7%, right? A year ago, they were 2.5%. Now they're 7%. So, you know, the house payment's going to be more. If your credit score is not 740, really 760 now, your rate's going to be over 7%. You're looking at 9%. That's a lot for that kind of money. So, you know, those are just things that you think about, and you know, we do cover that in the program.
Yes, ma'am.
So with my investment in the program, will my children, because I want them to be in a better position than I was for retirement, with my program, my investment, would my children be able to use under my investment to get their credit reports, do whatever, or would they have to make an investment as well?
So when you get DFW, it's your password. It's password protected, and you just give them your password.
If you want them to see
If
your
you want
information.
them to see your information, because your information will be in there, right?
Okay.
So we encourage that. You give access to anybody you want to have it.
Okay.
It's all, and by the way, everybody should know any information you put in there, we can't see it. It's all encrypted, right? So you're the only ones that can see it. And so, yes, you give them your password, they have access, and it's a family affair. We encourage that, and I'm glad you brought that up. I saw another hand.
Yes. My question is, so let's say someone has already entered into a mortgage relationship where they wanted to be with their credit score, and you know they've done well, you know, making all those payments on time, and they begin to get those offers to refinance. Does Destination Financial Wellness provide guidance on making those types of decisions?
Yeah, I'm going to let Saundra take that one.
Yes, you know, in the housing section, we have a lesson on when is it the right time to refi.
Okay.
And it takes you through step by step, you know, a checklist. You know, if you can check all these boxes, you know, can you reduce your current interest rate by 50 to 75 basis? 75 to 100 basis points, 0.75%, in other words, or 1%. You know, what are the closing fees? You know, do you have to pay points? Do you have to stay in there? It walks you through how to calculate your break even, because what you don't want to do is refinance and then, you know, move, you know, before you get a return or a break even on the investment that you have to make, or the money that you have to put into the refi. You know, the rates that you see out there, you know, whether it's 7%, 6% right now, that may not be the rate that you get. And we show you how to actually come up with your, what we call your APR or APY, your average annual percentage rate or annual percentage yield. Those are the two numbers that you're looking for. You're not looking for the stated interest rate, because that means nothing, right? But what the APR and APY, what those numbers or percentages do, they factor in all of the fees that you have to pay. So it could be 7%, but your actual interest rate may be 10%. And that's what you want to look at, you know, based on the fees that you're paying. But yeah, we walk you through that process, and you can use that not only for refi, but for a purchase as well.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing now. You know, the refis are really down now, because a lot of people, if they have a fixed rate, and hopefully everybody had a 30-year fixed rate, you know, they locked in those much lower rates. And now, you know, the refi industry is at a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people have lost their jobs because it's just, you know, the interest rates won't be all be that high. You know, we're talking about inflation. You know, inflation. Yeah, I mean, they're going to do everything that they can to bring inflation down. Yes, it's pretty high right now,
But just know that the government is going to do, I mean, they're already doing some things right now. Yes, you're going to have to pay a little bit higher on groceries and things like that, but that's what the emergency fund is for. You don't, lower your participation in the 401k plan or your other investments. You use your emergency fund, to augment or supplement your budget until inflation gets back down. And it's going to go back down, right? So this is really, we're telling individuals, it's unless you just really have to jump into a mortgage right now. I mean, just wait.
Definitely stand pat. And, the person who asked about the recession, the Fed, you've seen continue to raise interest rates. And the last time, so they're not going to they're going to do everything in their power to keep that interest rate, inflation rate, from getting into double digits. Now, if you remember back in the Carter administration, for those of you who, remember the Carter in the 70s, that was, the inflation rate was 18%. I can guarantee you, Janet Yellen, the current Treasury Secretary, is not going to allow that inflationary rate to get to 18%. That's the worst it's been. Okay. And they're going to do everything they can right now, Jerome Powell, to keep it from getting double digits. So you're going to see the interest rate continue to go up. And so, so the cost of goods are going to be higher, but the cost to borrow and pay for those goods, so it's going to be higher if we're using credit. So it's a double whammy, no doubt about it. But this too shall pass. This too shall pass. If I am able to show you the Dow dating back to 1913, which we will, because we'll continue this relationship, you're going to see that since 1913 all the way to 2020, it's going to do this, y'all. And it's going to do it. There are going to be things we're living in a global economy. The world is flat. So something that happens in Europe is going to affect our markets. There's no doubt. We understand that. It's all about time. Time and money are your two biggest assets. We're not going to worry about, yes, there may be a recession depending. But as long as we are in DFW, we get our budgets, we don't overspend, we stay within our means, we continue to invest, everything is going to work just fine because you are measured in how you approach your finances. Okay, question. This might have been said before. Do individuals in this program have access to individuals to answer questions that may come up in an area investments credit? Yes, you do.
Just email.
And so there's an email that you'll see in the program. It says info. I'll put it in chat, or Dr. Cole, if you're able to do that. info@bcholdingsllc.com. Info. It's in the program as well. info@bcholdings. It has contact us. You send an email. You give us 72 hours or so. Our staff will respond. And the beautiful thing is we're bringing on more coaches that will be able to deal with any type of level of question, whatever the case may be. So you have no worries. You're not going to just get this program and we're gone. That is not how we work. And Dr. Cole has been amazing in our relationship with the federal government. I guaranteed him, Saundra guaranteed him, we will be here for your district when you have this program. We're not going anywhere, everybody. We want you to become wealthy. We want your children to become wealthy. So we're going to be a part of that.
I'm sorry, this might be a repeat question, but to make it clear, on your portal, you don't have to participate in every aspect. You could just only participate in what you think applies to you. Like I could just participate in investment or children. I don't have to participate in the other portions.
Yeah, so we will make it asynchronistic then, no question. You can go to wherever you have an interest. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do you find that, so we talk a lot about, purchasing stock and investing in the stock market. Do you find that most people actually know how to do that, where to go.
They do not. They do not. Most people do not know where to go or how to get started or that they can do it on their own in the comfort of their home. They don't understand their 401ks. They don't understand the funds within their 401ks. They don't understand what each of those funds are earning. And so there is a disconnect, unquestionably a disconnect. And that's our job, to bridge that knowledge gap.
Because, we know, it's interesting because we know who we make our mortgage payment to. We know who we make our car payment to. We know who we make our credit card payments to. But a lot of us don't know, who, if we're in a 401k plan, we have no idea where our money is going. We can't tell you. And that needs to change. We can tell you how to go get a loan for a car. We can tell you the steps to go get a mortgage, but we can't tell you the steps on, what you need to do to build wealth. And we're trying to change that in our community because we know how to go into debt. We know that, but we don't know how to build wealth and build it the right way.
So to answer your question, most people are 100% financially uneducated when it comes to wealth and how to proceed. But the good news about that, to answer your question and finish and put an exclamation point on the end, our young people, they're waiting longer to purchase a home.
Yes, they are.
And they are going gangbusters on trying to invest. And we have to settle our college students down because they want to take borrowed money and go invest. They want to take student loan money, and we like, hold up, wait a minute. No, I know you're excited about this, but we're not going to use borrowed money where we're paying interest that's going to capitalize and to go put it in the market. Okay, we're going to earn our way there. We're going to use our earned income to do this, but they are so into investing, our young people. I'm telling you right now, there are 13 million members of Robinhood, and they are on fire.
Well, and the one other thing that I did want to talk about, with BC Holdings is being a non-fiduciary, because there are investment firms out there that will also educate you. However, they're going to educate you on what they have to offer. KFC is never going to educate you on buying a hamburger. They will sell you chicken because that's what they sell. Non-fiduciary, they're only educating you on how to make the best decision. And then you can go out and choose who you're going to invest with. But they're never going to sell you anything. That's not their interest in trying to sell you a product. And that's part of the reason that we, even in the federal government, love dealing with BC Holdings and companies that are non-fiduciary, because they're not coming in just trying to sell you what they have and steer you away from something that they don't offer.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dr. Cole. We don't have licenses, y'all. We're just teachers. We're teachers and we're educators, and we care. And even when Saundra left the bank all those many years ago, many of her white colleagues said, "What are you doing? You're leaving a very good position to go and educate people." And she said, "Yes, I am." And they did she said, "Let those folk worry about themselves." And it was just the minority community now. It's just everybody out there. And you need to make your money. But she said, "I'm going to do it." And here we are 22 years later, still going around the country educating. Any other questions that we can answer? We're happy to do so. We just want you to get started. And by the way, everybody, winning is finishing. You get into DFW, you got to get all of your information. You've got to get all of your data, and you've got to upload that information.
Well, each module will tell you what you need before you start.
Yes.
So, what do I need to complete this module? And if you do complete every module, at the end, you'll have your own wealth management plan.
That's right. So I just want you to know that, delay is the enemy of progress. And, we pray all the time, and I talk about this, but we've got to do our part. And our part is getting in there and being diligent and taking action. And our job is to motivate you into action. So it's a lot of information in DFW, but take your time.
Take it module
Take
by
it
module,
module by
lesson by
module.
lesson.
And then take action and get some tangible results. Those of you that want to invest, you need to free up some cash, go to the debt section. It's going to show you how to become debt free. Those of you that are not on a budget, let's get on a budget. If your credit is not good, let's get it. We need an emergency fund. So let's work on getting the emergency fund. But this Christmas and birthdays, guess what mom bought you for your birthday? Give them, you don't have to get a stock certificate from Fidelity or Vanguard. You can make that on your own and publisher, but make them owners of these companies that they love. If they have an Apple phone and you're running to get the Apple 14 Pro or whatever that thing is, but by the way, we have the Apple 6, y'all. We don't try to keep up.
We're trying to hold on.
We're trying to hold on to that thing. It meets our needs. And by the way, I'm going to say this too, just so y'all know that we practice what we preach. We've been blessed financially and we have significant investments, but we are still in the same house that we bought back in 1993. The same house that has a little brick up front, but the rest of it is siding. And I will tell you this, since we can talk openly, Saundra's sisters, they said, and they know we heard it, that I'm gonna tell them. She gave me Saundra's sisters, who are all grown and older than her, said they must not be making any money. They live in the same house, and they call themselves having their own business. See, you can't let people decide what your best interest is. We live in the same house. It's a starter home. Our kids, we raised our kids in that house. They are grown and gone, right? And I'll tell Saundra, we gonna downsize and make sure they don't move back. Right? That's what you call child-proofing your home. but let me close this out. We're in the same house since 1993. You know why? Because that house more than meets our needs. We drove the same car. It doesn't build well, but the market does. So we know where to put our money. That the car we drove that car until it had almost 300,000 miles on it. We bought the car we wanted. It was a Mercedes, okay? But we literally drove that car till the wheels fell off, okay? And we just had to get another one. We don't get caught up in the crowd, but if you ask us about our net worth, if you ask us what our wealth is, that's a totally different discussion, right? Because we're not caught up. It's all about what's on paper and what we're able to do.
That's a good close.
Absolutely.
That's a good close.
I'll give you a quote. We are not divided by the income or money we make. We're divided by the wealth and knowledge that we fail to accumulate.
And tell your kids, you cannot plan the future in the future. You cannot plan the future in the future. You have to start today.
Thank you for your input.
All right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sid and Saundra, for giving up a good portion of your time this morning for us here at the District Union. I think we've answered a lot of the questions, and I think what we're going to do at this point is those that were not able to be here live or to be able to be online, encourage them to watch the video, and we will start to schedule our launch date based on your availability and the district church's availability. But we do not want to delay in getting started with DFW, because every day we delay, that's interest that we didn't earn. So I greatly appreciate you guys jumping in on a Saturday morning, even with the glitches with the sound and the different time zones. But I will make sure that as we move forward, I will put in EST or CST. I'll take ownership for that, because I did say 11 a.m. and didn't tell you that we were talking about 11 a.m. in the north, not 11 a.m. in the South.
Okay.
But with that being said, I'm going to ask our president, Pastor Bright, to come and close us out with a word of prayer.
I sure will.
And it will be a pleasure to see you all in person when you're ready to officially launch. We will be there in person, and there's so much more we can give you live. But thank you all for the opportunity. We're happy to be here.
Well, we want to thank you for everything that we heard today. It was a blessing. I was the guy in the back that was asking the questions. We're signing up. This period. It's an excellent opportunity, and I think that it would be ludicrous for us to pass it up. We appreciate everything that you shared with us. These folks that are here are serious about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. And we know that we can play a part in encouraging other folks, amen, to go the way of this process, because it is time for us, as you said in the very beginning, Sid, instead of working so hard for the money, it's time for the money to work for us.
Amen.
So thank you and Saundra for your time. Again, I want to thank Reverend Cole, because she played a great part in connecting us. And we're going to be moving on up and moving out with Destination Financial Wellness. So thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to pray out now. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you, Lord, for your goodness, for your mercy, for your grace. We thank you, Lord, for this couple, Lord, that obviously, Lord, you put together, Father God, Lord, to enjoy each other, but also to be used, Lord, to bless many, many, many people, Father God.
Yes.
We pray their continued blessing.
Yes.
We pray, Father God, that your will be done in our life as well. And Father God, we know, Father God, that you do all things well. Yes. So thank you, Lord, for what you've done. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
God bless you.
Amen. All right. You all take good care.
Bye-bye. We'll be in touch.